Can I ask you a question?
The Bolton Ink Effect. Hi, Louis.
Hello, my darling.
Welcome to another episode of the Bolton Ink Effect podcast.
The Bolton Ink Effect podcast.
Yes.
We've been doing this a while, so we've taken a bit of a break. Why have we taken a bit of a break?
Well, not that much of a break. We've moved homes, which has been a big thing for us.
Okay, so that's a bit of a break. It is, hey, yeah. We got a call. Unfortunately, we've been in our previous place for a couple of years, and they decided to sell, so we had to hustle, hey.
Well, then it has actually been a while. It's been longer than I thought. I think time.
Morphs, warps, hey.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking the other day, we were there for almost 6 years.
Yes, we were indeed.
And we've been in this place just a short while now.
No, we were there for 6 years, because on the 2nd of June it would have been 6 years.
Yeah, it's true. And we've moved into the new place, and I said to you the other day, it's like we never were there. Like, what's that about?
Yeah. You know what I was thinking is that the concept that moving is one of the most stressful things that you could do. And at the time we were moving, and it's like, it's a bit of a pain in the arse because you're packing boxes and you've got to wrap shit in paper and, it just, you realise how much you've got. But I kept thinking that's not the stressful part.
What was it?
But you know what it was for me is being in a new home. I felt so, as beautiful as this home is, as much as I really am enjoying and appreciating this home, because it's so nice.
Very different.
I mean, it's such an upgrade for us. It's a beautiful garden. We've got, it's a really beautiful garden. The garden just keeps giving us these gifts. We've got the vegetable garden. We've got one of the old original trees when Matua was still an orchard.
Yeah.
Many, many years ago. Yeah. And there's a few of them dotted around the neighbourhood. And so we've got one of those. So despite everything that's good, I felt very displaced and I could actually feel it in my body.
It's a very strange thing. I agree with you. It's like we were going through the motions of being practical and packing and moving and whatever the case is.
And then unpacking and
cleaning
and putting stuff together and putting stuff in cupboards. But then once the dust had settled, I felt very, very out of sorts. I felt, just displaced. And that for me was very stressful because I hadn't consciously been aware of that impact of a move before. And it got me thinking about, we have these 5 senses, and some of us, talk about a 6th sense that we have. But your body and your physiology also has a sense of place. And we hadn't quite... My body almost hadn't quite, or it was my spirit maybe, hadn't quite landed here yet. So I felt very disconnected.
There was a lag time for me between doing all the practical stuff, like I said, and then actually going, okay, what do I do now? In other words, like, you're expected to kind of just carry on with work and life and everything else.
Exactly, and you don't give yourself the time or the gift or the grace.
And that's an old program and an old pattern that I recognize within myself and within you. And it's taken me a while to kind of, still taking me a while to recognize the importance of place and setting and where we're at. And I don't want it to be an excuse, but I definitely have had a definite lag time from being in a physical space for my body to almost catch up and go, right, you need to get shit done now, work, etc., whatever the case is. And we have been busy. But to your point about
But it's been physically busy.
It has been physically busy.
And that's been the thing. Great. Yeah, because that's been the thing, if you listen to your body, that's the thing that both of our bodies have really wanted to do.
But I think it's a necessary evil for...
But it's not even an evil. It's a necessary process.
It's a necessary process in order to function.
And to land.
Yeah.
So there's been, from a work perspective, there's been this inertia for the two of us,
big time,
which plays out, and then there's a bit of a guilt attached because we should be following. Well, this is the program I play. I should be following up more. I'd committed to doing these 3 things a day, and these more things and these more things because this is my business. If I don't wake up every day and I'm not 180% driven, then I'll be the one who pays the piper at the end of the day. And yes, now that I'm sitting here in hindsight and I can feel my sense of energy returning and my sense of excitement, and I noticed that in you the other day.
Did you?
So it's just been an interesting process. You did a really nice little prompt into Claude.
My preferred AI.
Yeah.
Now. Yes.
And yeah, the two of you just came up with this amazing plan.
It was very cool.
And you stepped into action and you were excited.
It was the first time in a long time that I've kind of felt like, oh, yeah, this reminds me of who I was and what I want to be. But hey, what do you think of the podcast studio?
Yeah, I think we've done a great job.
So look.
Yeah, I think we've done it because this really was a workshop, a cavernous workshop.
It was a cavernous workshop and very dusty with sawdust, etc., etc. So
the dust in here was unbelievable.
I think we've done pretty well, hey?
Yeah.
So we've got a few tweaks to make, and I'm looking at a few things. But as a start, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, our curtains are up, and we found a lovely can of. I mean, how fortunate are we? Yeah. We're like, what colour should we paint this? Actually, our theme colour is the curtains, which is black. Yeah. Lo and behold, you find a massive big tin of black paint. Black. And then our neighbour gave me a tin of white paint so I could paint this lovely bench or worktop white, and now the storage unit. And then we found a lovely tin of blue paint for the door.
Great.
And then we have a friend who's an artist who's going to possibly come and do a mural on the outside of that.
That's the plan. I must just give you, I don't know if I've said this before in the podcast, but the reason I put these curtains up is because I come from a theatrical background.
Yes, this is very theatre.
And it makes me feel very comfortable and safe. And
I'm kind of expecting a man with very tight tights. To
step out.
Yes, with a tutu and a...
Into stage left.
Correct,
with a spotlight.
Yes, exactly. I'm hoping that he's manly and he has lots to show off.
Can be arranged. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on. So we've done quite a few podcasts. We've done 10 podcasts, and for me personally, I kind of feel like that was season 1. Because we've moved into a new place, this is kind of the beginning of season 2. So what we thought we would do is just have like a little bit of a random show, a random podcast, just with a few questions and catch-ups about hot takes.
And what we're interested in at the moment, what's going on
what's happening. So I'm gonna hit this right off the hot take roulette, for lack of a better word. AI. What's your one sentence hot take on AI?
I'm really enjoying the way it's unfolding.
All right, so
really only one sentence. I've got so much more to say.
So say it some more, because I'm gonna counteract you straight away and say I am AI inundated and had enough of it. Everything, and I get it, I understand, but the overload and the overwhelm is just very real for me. I find it exhausting.
Yeah.
I really do.
Point taken, 100%.
But I know that you're into it and you're on it, and I love that. Yeah. I love that.
I'm really intrigued and interested and excited about where this amazing new technology is taking us as a human race. And this is kind of the next evolution for us, really. You know, we've been through so many evolutions. This one is just happening a hell of a lot faster. I think that there are definitely some good times and some hard times. I think that what's really interesting to watch is all of the experts and how their timelines keep changing. You know, this one says, well, in another 2 years it's going to be done, you know, we're going to be there, and suddenly we're there already, and it's another 10 to 15 years and we're going to be there. So for me, the every day holds something new, and you're right, it can be really overwhelming. I choose a few people to follow, and I keep myself informed that way. So I often look at who Stephen Bartlett has on his podcast and who's talking about AI. I am very faithful to Peter Diamandis because I love his energy around this whole new world. And he's really very focused on the fact that it's a whole new world that is being democratized across so many things, from medical to finance.
Yeah, it's
and that means that we as people make our own choices.
Yeah, I mean, I follow the journey alongside you because I see you going into it, and I've heard and watched, you know, a few of the things that you've watched. And what I find interesting is the human reaction to it, because it's either a negative or a positive.
But isn't it always when the big change comes our way?
But my point is the experts that are talking, and there aren't really any experts because nobody knows what's coming.
I think there's lots of learning experts, but there's lots of people who are bloody good at what they do.
I don't think we know what's coming. I don't think anybody's really prepared for what is actually coming. And I don't say that in a negative way.
No, agreed.
But it's a whole new crumbling of an old system to the beginning of a new way of life. And I think we're going to go through a lot of bad shit first before we come out on the other side. It has to, because it's the breaking down of the old to give rise to the new. That's how I see it. I don't know what the timeline is, and I don't have any facts to base that on. I'm not an expert. But just from my little realization of like, wow, human connection is going to be vital in the next couple of years. And our humanness is going to be exponentially exposed by what's coming and by the use of all these AI and agentics and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I am excited, but there's definitely a sense of none of us actually know what and how and where. And I mean, you can do your own research out there. There's plenty to go, and I'm not even going to bore you with the details, but yeah.
I think in terms of not knowing what's out there, I think that there are some repercussions that we don't know. I think the timelines we don't know, but I think there are some outcomes that we are very clear about. And that is a democratized world. And that's going to be amazing. So that means that you don't have to wait 3.5 weeks to see a doctor.
What does that mean for doctors?
It means that they are there more for that human touch. But we already know in a country like New Zealand, we don't have enough doctors and nurses. They're under enormous pressure in this country. And that's because Australia potentially offers higher wages and friends go and whatever the case is.
Okay, but let's
so that's a different...
back to you then. I mean, I hear what you're saying about doctors and lawyers, etc., etc. And the very basic thing I heard was the tokenization of everything. And how I understand that is that it'll be a fractional ownership of everything. Everything is going to be tokenized. So there won't be banks, there won't be a financial system, there'll be a financial
That I see a lot longer off. I don't see that happening soon.
Yeah, but I mean, I
what do I know?
But sorry, to go back to my point, come back to you as a marketer. What does it mean for you as a marketer? Because I don't need you. I can just type into whatever, whatever your preferred agent is and simsalabim,
exactly.
Whatever the case is. So what does it mean for you? How does that make you feel?
How does it make me feel? I'm still excited. I definitely know that marketer skills, as they stand, are not going to be needed anymore. And I think anything that I can do, ChatGPT can do much better. But does everybody know how to get the most out of ChatGPT? So that's been quite a broad learning band for me, is to manage ChatGPT. So I'm on the paid version, as you know, and it allows you to have folders and projects and all that sort of thing. But because it's so eager to please, and this is the irritating thing about ChatGPT, it's always giving me a plan. And then I think, okay, well, that's definitely the plan to stick to. And then if I go onto onto the hard drive, I've got so many ChatGPT plans that I'm just like immobilized. I don't think I've done any one of them from start to finish.
Okay.
So either that's a me problem,
which it is, because you're the input.
No. What I'm saying is in terms of organizing myself and sticking to taking one plan and sticking to it.
So learning how to use AI in order
a lot more efficiently and effectively.
Right, okay, makes sense.
And so maybe there are other people who need that skill. Like how do I program my agent? How do I program ChatGPT to take on this persona when I need this and that persona for that?
But what does it mean for you as a marketer in terms of having a job in the next 5 to 10 years? Like literally, what does it mean? Do you have to pivot?
I reckon I do.
Do you like how do you think about that? Or do you remain resolute and present in this moment of like, I have to stay present in order so I don't lose my mind? Because sometimes I feel like that.
I think if you stay present and don't want to change, we really won't get very far. We really have to roll with these punches.
Yeah, I suppose I'm coming from a point of like just managing the overwhelm. Because it's like, it's a lot.
Okay,
I'm finding it a lot.
So what is overwhelming you?
Well, there's a different AI popping up every day.
Yes, true.
There's an agent for this, there's an agent for that, and you get bombarded with all these kind of things, and I just, like, it's too much.
So when I look at your situation, I think to myself, and I need to use this lens to look at myself, I think to myself, okay, so what is a documentary filmmaker, director of photography, editor, what are the tools that you need? And those are the only ones that you follow.
Okay.
Like maybe. And then for me, like as a marketer, what are the tools that I need?
Yeah, I'm kind of, I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm kind of buried my head in the sand at the moment because it's probably just out of fear. It's just lack of knowledge.
Look, I don't think you're the only one. There is just so much coming out every day, all the time.
Okay, so
if I was going to pivot before any of the new agents come and take all the digital marketing, that would be an area that that would be an area that would be pretty easy to get into.
There's an interesting discussion to go around UBI, Universal Basic Income.
Yeah.
just from the experts in terms of how this is going to ripple through the workforce, etc., because we still have bills to pay.
But
So
if you consider that your bills could be less, so once we're using the sun for absolutely everything,
yeah, but how far is that?
so you won't need to pay for electricity
How
anymore.
far is that off? For the next couple of years, we're still going to have to pay electricity.
Yeah, but UBI won't roll out for the next couple of years.
Yeah, okay.
No, it really won't. So one hopes that there's going to be this convergence.
Yeah, and nobody can like pinpoint it.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. But the thing is, you still need to pay for water, and you definitely still need to pay for groceries. So will UBI cover those costs? And the big thing that you talk about in parallel with UBI is what about our purpose and our meaning as a human race?
But that also opens up an interesting discussion about, and we've heard a few people talk about it, about the powers that be in order to fund the UBI, that you get the class distinction divide. It's the haves and the have-nots.
Well, that's an unpleasant
So
concept.
society will fundamentally change with the people that have got.
But and there'll be a much smaller band of uber informed, uber wealthy, because they've had a stake in all of those pies, and the UBI receivers is going to be a much bigger subset
But it's
of the
frightening if you kind of think of
population.
those consequences.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of gives you Elysium vibes, where the rest live on Mars or the moon, and the rest of us are down here.
Yeah. I think here's the thing.
Anyway.
Just know that you can cope with whatever happens.
Yeah.
Because we always have been able to cope, and that it's not always going to be easy. And when it's not easy, you'll find the resources and the tools to deal with it.
Okay.
That's all I can think about.
What's a belief you've held 5 years ago, based on all of this, or where we're at, that you no longer believe, and what's changed?
What's a belief that I had 5 years ago that I no longer believe? Wow, that's quite a big question.
So take it back to 5 years ago. You would have been just at the previous residence, so you kind of just moved in there. You were working full time.
The thing I held then possibly was around, but was it a belief? I was going to talk about how we were going to finance our retirement. May have popped into my mind back then, and I probably believed back then that it wasn't going to be that it was going to be a big problem.
And now?
I don't believe that anymore.
Okay.
What's changed?
What's changed? Because you're not working for the man.
I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner. I'm not unemployed. Remember, we were talking about semantics.
Semantics.
Correct.
Yes.
So what's changed?
Language?
No, solution. I mean, getting, and we've spoken about this before, getting a financial advisor,
Yeah, okay, all right.
finding a mortgage broker.
So what's the belief that's changed?
That it was possible, and that everything's going to be okay.
Abundance?
That retirement and abundance in retirement is actually possible.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Well, I want to know from you. What's a belief that you held 5 years ago?
I haven't changed that much, I don't think. Or have I? I don't know.
It's not an easy question to answer.
It's not an easy question to ask. And I have to come back. The first thing that's popped into my head is the real practice of staying present.
Yes.
A lot of my own bullshit comes from, and my own fear and own faults and stressing comes from my monkey mind, future thinking about a future that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So playing out different scenarios, which creates an emotional reaction, which puts me in a state of fright rather than fright or flight, rather than empowering empowerment and the ability to take action. So I've really, that belief of staying present has been probably it's not really a belief, but that's more a discipline.
And I definitely have noticed that, yeah. You've definitely become a lot more,
Present.
a lot more present. There's much more of that sage.
I appreciate that.
Has-
And
has-
it's work, but it's something that I've realized has to happen in order, because we're still here 5 years down the line. We're okay.
7 years down the line.
7 years down the line. Sorry, yeah, but from that point.
Yeah, that raises something that I would like to add on there. I was invited by a colleague to join a woman solopreneur conversation every Monday at lunchtime. And so the first conversation I joined, I promptly burst into tears when they asked me how I was. I'm like, oh my God, this is embarrassing. But the tears just kept coming. And you know me, I don't like to expose my soft self
In front of others, especially strangers.
Exactly, and I don't like to be seen as being so vulnerable. So it was quite a challenging conversation to get through. And of course, because they were, sorry, I said of course because they were women. I didn't mean that. They could have been men, but because of the nature of who they were, there was definitely the sense of rallying around me and saying, okay, well, what do you need to hear? What resource do you need? I've just picked up this book. And one of them reminded me about Michael Singer.
Okay.
Whose books I've read, all except one, The Surrender Experiment. And
Great book, by the way.
yeah, it is. And his other one, which I'm reading again now. But then I went to look for him on a podcast, and it was such a valuable one because he talked about in terms of Buddhism, the Four Noble Truths.
Okay.
And the one is suffering. You know, the Buddha talks about suffering, and then the Buddha talks about the source of suffering, and then how to get over that suffering. And the source of suffering really is your belief about a thing.
Correct.
And your opinion and perspective, and you hanging on to the way a thing should be. So we were going to go and swim today. Oh, now it's raining. Now look. Oh, that's terrible. Well, too bad. We'll go tomorrow.
I love his perspective on, like, who do you actually think you are?
Yeah.
In the space and time.
Yeah,
that you are.
Exactly.
You know, that we're on a little, you know, there's
speck of dust.
8 billion of us on this tiny little planet, of which is of one planet of trillions of planets, of trillions of galaxies in the entire universe that hasn't even been fully mapped.
Exactly.
I mean, for goodness sake.
And you're only here for your 80 little years, but you think you're so important.
So important. And you know, oh my God, it's raining. I can't go swim. I mean,
oh yes. Oh my God, this person just cut me off in traffic. Can you believe this little fucker? Can't believe he did that to me.
Yeah,
how ridiculous.
It puts it into perspective.
Yeah.
But yet it means so much to us right there and then, you know.
Yeah.
So
it really does.
Surrender.
Surrendering to it, yeah.
And taking a breath.
And also remembering your reaction and your relationship to things. So as you know, I got really worried over the last couple of weeks.
Sure.
About
yes.
you know, about the fact that it's not raining work on us.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's a failure. I've just I can't do this. People just don't need a marketer.
Yeah. I'm dumb. I'm stupid.
Why did I think that this whole thing was going to work, and yada yada yada, and so much self-talk, when in fact, what's to say? And this is something that you mentioned on a previous podcast. How do you know that this is not working?
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine this cuckoo clock and all the machinations are going on.
Of which you know nothing.
Know nothing.
And you're not supposed to.
And the little cuckoo will pop out with an opportunity because we put in the work. Yep. We take the effort. We're out meeting people. We're doing what any new business owner would do. And so just hang in there, bro.
Hang in there, bro.
What's the analogy around surfing? Something to do with you're on a surfboard and you can't stop the waves, so you have to learn to surf them because that's
flow.
Just going with the flow.
And read them and use the right one. Yeah. There's so many things. I love this conversation. So you've mentioned Michael Singer. So what's inspiring you right now? I mean, what's keeping you inspired to carry on?
I'm sorry to bring it up again, but I'm really inspired by AI, and that and that makes me think about a quantum world and waves and particles and all that sort of thing, and how much influence we actually have on the quantum realm, and how much power sits there, and it's not there, it's here, and I'm trying, and I know that I shouldn't be trying so hard to understand, but I'm really very absorbed in that at the moment, like trying to see myself and the world around me as just a collection, collaboration of particles and atoms, because that's actually all we really are.
Wow.
I know that sounds crazy, and I'm trying to get my head around it.
It doesn't sound crazy at all.
And I'm trying to understand how that works. So I'm constantly watching things on YouTube and.
Okay. Well, I wish you well in your journey, because I'm walking along right.
Thanks, Louis.
Right side. When you figure it out, let me know. Okay.
But if we can understand that we are a part of this quantum realm, surely we
I think
can
you have to define a few things.
influence it. Yes. So what do you mean?
So what do you mean, like?
No, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Define what?
Define the quantum realm. Like.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, so you're on a journey of exploration.
Oh, flip, yeah.
Yeah. I love that about you, by the way. It's your constant yearning for knowledge and learning.
Yeah.
It's great.
It possibly comes from a rather selfish
That's okay.
perspective, though.
It's the best way to start, don't you think?
Because if we go back to the analogy of the clock and the and the cuckoo.
Yes, and the machinations behind it.
Correct. So if that is just quantum mechanics at play, like surely my thoughts can influence that.
Right.
Couldn't they?
They could.
Because that's really the law of attraction, isn't it? What you think of your world becomes your world, whether that's good or bad. It's like my mom told me that that story about there's a little parable where there's a man approaches a village, and there's a beggar sitting just on the outskirts of the village, and the beggar says to him, and the man says to the beggar, "What sort of people live here in this village?" And the beggar said, "Well, where have you come from?" And he goes, "Some other village." And the beggar says, "Well, what kind of people were there?" And he goes, "They were wonderful. They were loving and warm." And the beggar says, "You'll find exactly the same kind of people here."
Okay.
And the man goes in, and another man comes and says to the beggar, "What kind of people live here in this village?" And he goes, "Well, where have you come from?" And he goes, "Oh, this village down the road." And the beggar says to him, "Well, what kind of people were there?" And he goes, "They were terrible. They were cutthroat. They were thieves." And he goes, "Yeah, you'll find the same kind of people here." So it's the lens through which you look at the world.
Hey, I love that. Thank you. That's
Okay.
a great little.
It's a great little story.
Little story. So,
So let me ask you the question. What, Louis, is inspiring you right now?
pickleball. I'm sorry. It's the first thing that popped into my brain.
Am I allowed to say officially that I'm a pickleball widow?
Yeah, but you love me for it, eh?
Well, I don't have a choice. I'm stuck with you.
I'm not as intelligent or as grand, grand as you. But I've really enjoyed the process of learning.
You are brighter than me sometimes. You just figure shit out, which is why I like having you in my life. Well, it's one of the reasons I like having you in my life.
But back to me about pickleball.
Sorry, yes, carry on.
So I just enjoy being physical and learning a new sport, and meeting other people, and I'm really enjoying the accessibility and the journey. It's inspiring me. It's keeping me fit. It's great. It's just I really enjoy it.
And you've made a few friends actually.
I've made a few connections, and I'm cautiously optimistic about where that goes. So yeah,
Very
so
cool.
that's for me. Okay. What's the most ridiculous thing? No. Let's not ask that question.
What's the most ridiculous thing I believed as a child? Can I tell you? I was told that my freckles would disappear. I want to go back and kill that auntie who told me that.
But you don't have any freckles.
I don't even laugh. I am covered head to toe in freckles. And she said, no, you'll grow out of your freckles. And I tell you what, until I was about 9 years old, I was still looking in the mirror going, oh, there's more freckles.
Yeah, it's amazing what you told as a child.
Very, very cruel.
Yeah.
So that's something ridiculous, I believed. Louis, what would you want your 8-year-old self to thank you for doing today?
Now you see, that question is an interesting question based on what I said earlier about me remaining present. I can't answer that question. because I'd like to remain present. I mean, ideally, what my 80-year-old self would say was like, did you live every day in that present moment?
Nothing for your health?
All of the above.
Okay.
Health, wealth, love, and happiness.
Yeah.
But to savor each moment, like this moment is right here that I'm spending with you, in this studio, in this place, in this time.
So if you fast forwarded 30 years and you were suddenly 80 and looking back, and you would think to yourself, "Oh, I'm so glad I did that." And save, or take a vitamin, or keep fit, or.
I'll be honest. I'm not. It's not something I have to do that in the present moment.
And I think that's why planning a holiday with you is so difficult.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be funny, but I mean, ask that question. What would I want my 80-year-old self to thank me for doing today? I'd like to think I'm doing exactly what I need to do in order to get to the 80-year-old.
Perfect. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So
my 80-year-old self will thank me for getting all my teeth sorted out.
Yeah.
And that
Growing
means,
older, hey?
I know that means going for
Fun times.
taking out a filling and taking out another filling, because I'm such a grinder and I've ground those fillings away.
I'll hold your hand.
No, he said based on how anxious you, he said, I think I'm just going to sedate you.
Oh my God! Yeah, just put you under.
So I said, well, what are you going to give me? And he mentioned some heavy tranquilizer, and he goes, yeah, but you'll be out of it. You'll be out of it for about 4 hours, and then you'll be fine.
I'll still hold your hand. What part of yourself are you learning to embrace rather than fix?
The fact that I'm not as thin as I was when I was 20. Because you live in this really slim, nice body for most of your life, and then suddenly your body's not so slim anymore.
Well, I think you're amazing.
And so I'm learning to embrace that. I looked at myself in the mirror this morning. I was like, oh, fuck. I'm going to have that sucked. That's not what I meant.
Definitely a PG-rated podcast, this. Note to self.
That's not what I meant, you pervert.
Okay, so we'll embrace all of you.
God, how embarrassing.
We'll embrace all of you. Right, moving swiftly along.
Trimmed, maybe, is what I meant.
Okay, all right. Jeez,
About my belly, I was talking.
hilarious. Of course it was.
What's part of yourself are you learning to embrace now that you're old and grey?
Jeepers creepers. The lines on my face.
You're lovely and grey, by the way.
Yeah, I am, and I thank you. Well, yeah. Yeah, growing old is a process, and
Yeah, it's a lovely one. As my mom, my 80-year-old mom always reminds us.
it is.
Just be grateful.
But I am grateful, and things change, and I
Yeah.
think the sooner I accept that, the better. And I mean, we're still both very young and able and healthy and well, which we're very fortunate and grateful for. But yeah, like the hair's getting thinner and the lines are getting deeper and a bit more pronounced, and it's interesting. I said the other day to someone, I looked in the mirror and I looked at myself and I'm like, you look through that 50-year-old lens, but I don't feel that 50. The person inside is that 28-year-old, 25-year-old, still hungry, still bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And I know it's the same for you, so it's such a weird space and head thing to try and get around,
Yeah, I was having this conversation with somebody, and she was saying you do have to, because I was talking about the fact that I really miss gym.
Yeah.
I miss going to gym.
Yeah.
And I was nailing it hard.
No, you were.
Every day, 5 days a week, 4 days a week sometimes.
Yeah.
And then, there's a bit of a back injury, and then nothing.
Yeah.
And her comment was that as we age, you can't nail things like you used to when you were 25 and 35.
Well, I'm seeing that with pickle. I've got to be very conscious and very disciplined with myself to say, not today. Because I can't play every day. But I know that I risk injury, and I'm doing the stretches and whatever the case is, but to your point of like, I'm not that 25-year-old self. I don't bounce back straight away.
Yeah.
So it's a process. And it is a learning.
Yeah, it is a learning.
Okay.
Louis?
Yes?
What's one risk you haven't taken yet, but secretly want to?
Based on this PG podcast.
What's one risk you haven't taken but secretly want to?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know. Sad. It's sad.
If money weren't an issue, what project would you start tomorrow? Just sorry, to go back to that, it's not sad. When you get put on the spot and you don't have an answer for something, that's fine.
Okay, yeah.
So
I mean, there's a few things I'd like to do, but it's not like, I mean, it's, you know, the comment, I'd love to travel more. I'd love just to be able to take a risk and go and actually just go and travel, you know, whether that's on a motorbike or a car with you or friends of ours at the moment are doing a road trip through Namibia in southern Africa. And I just look at the pictures and I'm like, oh my goodness, that is just like, that's kind of what I want to do right now, you know. And I think the main reason for that is just to give me perspective and space.
Yeah, sure.
If money and time weren't an issue, what would I do? What would I start tomorrow? Sure. I'd like to pick up another skill of some sort. I mean, I'd love to shoot a documentary on something, but I mean, there's so much that's going out there. But, you know, I'd love to build something, for, you know, just having potted around the house here and done stuff. I really would just like to another skill.
I mentioned this to you yesterday or the day before, but and I'm reminded of it when I hear you say that, is that when I've looked at you over the last couple of weeks, you've seemed so fulfilled and happy when you've been pottering.
Yeah.
And you really have, yeah.
Great.
You know, I just get home and there's something else sorted, and you know, this got painted and you put up a door frame and you know, you said the other day you were going to make a table and...
You make me sound more than I am, but I appreciate that.
No, not at all. It just reminds me of when we worked on the lodge. You know, you were pretty capable of sorting anything out.
Those are great days, eh? Great times.
Yeah.
Great times.
Yeah. Here's a funny one. If a film was made about you, what would the title be?
Silver Fox.
Oh, yes. Silver Fox and his crazy adventures.
Silver Fox and his crazy adventures.
Silver Fox goes to space.
Oh, my God, yeah. Silver Fox goes to Namibia.
Silver Fox goes on an adventure.
Silver Fox sucks it. TMI. TMI, right. Okay, so this is my favourite one I'm going to ask you anyway, and it comes from one of my favourite podcast hosts, Tim Ferriss. And if you had to put a giant billboard up for the world to see with one message on it, what would it say and why? So anywhere, anything, one thing that you would like a message to get out to the people. It can be a saying, a word, anything.
It would be something like, take a moment to love yourself.
Take a moment to love yourself.
You are loved, you are lovable, and you are loving.
You are loved, you are lovable, you are loving.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I suppose mine would be, you know, to the similar effect of like, just be a little kinder to those around you and kind to yourself. We're all in this together in some manner or form.
Yeah, we certainly are. And we're all the same sort of species. We're all brothers and sisters in this.
8 billion of us can't be wrong, or can be wrong. But, you know, we're all in this together. And
agreed.
Just exercise that humanity. So, yeah.
Okay, I get the sense you're going biblical, so let's just end this now.
We'll end it there. Thank you, Bridge, for a wonderful podcast. I really appreciate that. Yeah. That was great. That was really, really cool. Okay, cool. Till the next time, guys, please subscribe, share the podcast, give us comments, let us know what you want to listen to, and the comments if you don't want to say anything, just say something. I want to see a comment, please.
Yeah, but the comments that we've had have been amazing. They've been amazing. Thank you. Thank you for your support.
Thank you very much. And yes, we will hopefully get back onto a more regular schedule, but I'm not promising anything just yet. We'll take it one day at a time and we'll see where we go. So lots of love to you people out there. Thank you very much for listening. And as I said before, just be a little bit kinder to those around you and to yourself. Ciao, ciao.
Over and out.
Can I ask you a question?
The Bolton Ink Effect.